Bill Belichick's girlfriend. And the story that Pablo Torre reported yesterday through he says, a source with the Belichick family who says that 24-year-old Jordan Hudson has been, air quote, banned from the North Carolina football facility. Reaction?
Well, I think, if this was any young coach, I don't know if it would be public. I think to make this public or for this thing to go public, I wonder where Bubba Cunningham is on Bill Belichick. I heard Rick Neuheisel talking about Bill Belichick and Bubba Cunningham, and he said Belichick wasn't his first choice.
Yeah, he wasn't. Remember, it was
a lot of the power boosters.
He was going John Summerall was the hot pick to be North Carolina's coach.
Yeah, and if this was Summerall in this situation, it would be easy for Bubba to go to him and say, hey, look, let's clean this up. We don't need the distraction. Belichick, probably a guy that pushes back. You talked about Julian Edelman talking about it on a podcast, or it was on Colin Cowherd's show. He needs to practice what he preaches. This is so against type for Belichick. And Belichick is an ego guy. By this going public, I'm telling you, I'm not going to be surprised if he's not coaching first game.
You mean if he just decides, hey, you guys can have a Coke and a smile and walk away?
Yeah. Yeah, I would not be surprised. Now, the problem there is, who takes over this program? You know who the most likely guy would be?
Already on that coaching staff, right? Who?
Freddie Kitchens.
Right, he's got an NFL head coaching season under his belt.
He's the offense coordinator. He's a tight ends coach. Other head coaches on there, former head coaches, Garrick McGee, no thanks.
Yeah, wow.
The wide receivers coach.
Wow.
You've got two Belichicks on that staff. Obviously, Michael Lombardi is your general manager. This is just, I threw this out, I don't know, maybe it was last week where I was like, I think he would coach. There's a better chance of him not coaching than him coaching 3 years there.
Pablo is a longtime ESPN reporter. He's part of Dan Le Batard's platform now, and he's the guy. It's been picked up by a number of sources now, but he's the guy that first reported that. And again, it was a Belichick family source he was using in his report there. You said his son is the defensive coordinator. I don't know if that would be him, his way to take over. Everyone believes that Belichick took this job basically to eventually turn this over to his son.
Probably, yeah, more than likely. How much time does he have left coaching, much less how much time on the earth? The guy's 73 years old.
Quick, easy way to give it to your son is to step away this late into the season and get him promoted up to being the head coach.
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
I think all the Belichicks would get blown out. I really do. Look, you got to keep some stability with that staff. This would be one of the weirder situations. Let's not forget, we were all there to cover Mike Price. What was it, back in 2002, 2001? No, 2003.
No, I think it's 2002 because I think it led to Mike Shula coaching that season.
Yeah, and so and that was in May, and it was really unprecedented. We had never seen, especially a major program like that. This is just a weird situation because Belichick, if he didn't coach another game, are we going to remember him more for this little saga than him winning all these championships with New England?
Well, that's the fear. That's what Pablo said. The family source told them the fear is within the family circle is that Bill is going to ruin his legacy with this at the end of his career.
Yeah, look, and everybody's talking, they're blaming this Jordan, the 24-year-old.
Right.
You got to blame Belichick. It's his space, right? He's allowed her to come in and kind of take over everything.
If he's of sound mind, it's got to be on Belichick, and I assume he's of sound mind.
Yeah, wouldn't you think there's enough people around him that could tell if he's completely gone off the reservation?
The thing I want to know right now is if, God forbid, if Belichick's car accidentally ran off the road tonight, and they all gathered together and read the will in 4 days.
Oh, she's a beneficiary.
Would she be in it?
At this point, I would say so, based on how much control she's got over his entire life.
But you know how that works. It takes a while to fill out the paperwork and change the will. How long have they been together?
You can do it quickly.
Well, I know, but you've got to decide you're going to do that, then call your lawyers, get them to draw it up.
But I would think that Belichick probably has 5, 6, 7 life insurance policies, and all he's got to do is switch one. All you got to do is transfer the name. So, he could do this within days.
You know how it is in the movies where they sit around and And
the
executor goes, and his 7 Super Bowl rings goes to Jordan Hudson. Miss Hudson, you'll get the rings. And somebody in the room is always upset about something. I wanted the rings.
It's not that I've got a lot of assets, it's morbid to think about this, but it's things you've got to do. So I just had to redo, a state will for everybody involved.
Right.
And you quickly can change these things.
Okay. Well, I know you can, but you got to think to do it. And
I'm sure she thought for him. Do you not think so?
At some point, he probably told another family member, "Hey, I'm going to rework some things in the will. Are you good with this and that?" And your first answer is going to be, "Well, Dad, why are you reworking something in the will?" Well,
first of all,
I got to slide Jordan in.
He's not going to tell him at all. I guarantee you she's had the conversation. Look, I love you. You're the love of my life. You're 73. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I hope you're here for another 30 years. But if you're not, what am I going to do? You've got 5 or 6 insurance policies. How about flip one to me? And it's probably only like a $2 or $3 million policy. And she's already worth 8. Didn't we hear that?
Sounds like a Kanye West song.